Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
my concern is, like I said, about black people and our health. And, there's such a great health disparity between us.
Right.
And I know that's for a lot of reasons. And one I noticed was, like when I used to live in California, in a very white neighborhood, very white county, Marin County, you had to drive 20 minutes to go to a McDonald's or Taco Bell or any fast food.
Wow.
They had to really make an effort. So it was very easy. I didn't eat fast food at all. I didn't crave it, didn't see it. My kids didn't eat it. However, healthy options were everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? And then when you go to certain neighborhoods, you see the absolute opposite, right? So it's so much easier to be healthy depending on where you live, your socioeconomics and things like that.
Yeah.
So my question is, there's so much we can't control. We can't control the disparities. They've seen the way the doctors treat patients based on race. But how do we what can we do? What can we control? Because, I'm on this whole kick of no one's going to save us but us.
Yeah.
What can we practically do, would you say, to make us healthier?
Well, my whole business is one person at a time. But it also, with my clients, they also have families. And what I've seen happen over the past, 15 years I've been in business, but I've been doing keto and intermittent fasting for about 5 years. And what I've seen is that spreads like wildfire across families. And I'll hear one of my clients say, well, I told my grandmother that she needs to use stevia over sugar. Mm-hmm. So it's starting to happen on that kind of level with people like me.
People learn from each other.
Mm-hmm. But to do it on a grander scale.
Well, no. So, like, anybody can eat keto, right?
Right.
Regardless of socioeconomics.
Yes.
If you go in with a plan to say, I'm going to eat keto, mm-hmm. So you say keto is the best diet?
Keto, in my opinion, is the best diet because it's a high-fat diet, and you want your body to be burning fat rather than sugar as energy.
Okay.
So it's more about education too. So
education is huge.
It's huge because I talk to people all the time and I say things and they go, I didn't know that.
Right.
Oh, wow, that makes sense. And so there's just a matter of educating on a massive scale. How do we get that type of nutrition information and education out there? So I can tell you one thing that I'm actually doing with the nonprofit that I work for, Humans for Healthcare. We actually put in a grant with the DC government for next year to do education with kids on nutrition, which will be big. We actually did get a grant for this year, which we're waiting to receive, where we're doing nutrition videos with DC government people.
That's great.
So it's where we're making strides in putting out the mass information about it, mm-hmm. and then once people are educated about it, then they drive demand for those products to be offered to them.
Hopefully.
But
let me ask you this. Let's say you tell me keto is the best thing for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm on a keto diet, and the only store in the area near me mm-hmm. is similar to a 7-Eleven.
Okay.
What do I buy at 7-Eleven, mm-hmm. essentially, to eat keto?
Right.
Or Walmart. Just give me, what do
I'll give you, So first of all, you're going to look for, you won't be able to do the ideal keto diet with those options. However, what you can look for is things that have high fat in them. So you're going to find cheese at a 7-Eleven or you're going to find it at a Walmart.
Okay. Does it matter what type of cheese? So if it's like Kraft American, those cheese slices we used to eat when we were young?
Yeah. Okay. That's bad processed cheese right there. That's not good cheese.
Okay.
But what you will, and I've seen this in 7-Eleven, what you will find are slices of or like nuggets of cheeses, like cheddar cheeses, right?
The sticks,
So you would go with something like that. You would go with nuts.
Okay.
And you would try to get like walnuts or macadamians if they have them. Most of the time they have almonds, which are fine.
But you threw out earlier, I liked my smokehouse almonds, the ones that are smoked with salt and they taste real good.
Yeah.
Not those nuts.
Not those nuts because they're putting a chemical called maltodextrin in them or on them, which makes them taste really great. It's like the equivalent of what do they do in fast food? I forgot. It's slipping my mind, but it'll come back to me. But it's like basically a flavor MSG. a
Okay.
flavor enhancer.
Right.
But it will spike your blood sugars higher and worse than sugar will.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's terrible for you.
All right.
So that's actually other things to look out for: maltodextrin, sucralose, or dextrose. Those are, and get this, I have to go deviate to this for a second. The entire Whole Foods food bar that I've seen of the prepared food has maltodextrin in it.
But maltodextrin is bad for us.
Maltodextrin is bad for you.
Okay.
So, going back to 7-Eleven and Walmart, your options are cheese, nuts, if they have meats, like some kind of salami or some kind of...
So processed meat, so like if they have turkey meat, I'm just saying, we're trying to do the best we can with what we had. So turkey meat.
You would be fine with turkey meat,
Okay.
you'd be fine with ham. You know, those are your options that you have.
Okay.
Yeah. You want
So
to
you want to stay away from the chips, the candy.
Stay away from the chips, the candy. All that stuff is just when it enters your body, it's like an explosion.
Mm.
Sugar is like an explosion. Sugar is actually toxic to the body. So
You hear that all the time.
You hear it all the time. And then the effects of it is our 60, 70-year-old, 80-year-old grandmothers who are having heart issues.
You know, because that's the thing that
Vascular
strikes
issues.
me.
Yeah.
All of us in my generation, we have these old grandmas and grandpas that they're living to 100 and something years old, went to the doctor 2 times, worked on their feet forever. You know, because I honestly think it's because they were eating natural, better foods. And eating everything from the pig, from the rooter to the tutor in my family, everything, but it was clean meat. It wasn't processed.
It wasn't processed, but they were also, another thing that they were doing, they were moving. They were doing a lot of activity.
Yeah.
They were working their butts off. Yeah. And so you put a sedentary person in this age and day who eats all this crappy food, who sits in front of a TV, who sits at work all day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's important because we were talking about that Celsius drink, right?
Yeah.
And say it has cyanide in it.
Yes. Yeah. According to Gary Brecka from 10X Health Systems, it says, he found that there was four times the amount of cyanide in Celsius drinks.
Which I thought were healthy.
That people think are healthy.
Well, that's the thing. So much is marketed as healthy. So it's important, I believe, that just like we Google who is so-and-so dating.
Right. Right.
Just like we Google, you know what I mean? Like we do Google this crazy stuff about our stars. We need to be Googling what we put in our bodies.
You got it, 100%.
So what you taught me is that I have to read labels and say, what is that? That is lightning. What is that?
Yeah. The sequence is you pick up something in Whole Foods or whatever grocery store you're in.
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. You turn it around. You read the label. You see a word or a symbol you don't understand. You look it up. You have a phone right there. You look it up. And if it still doesn't make sense, you probably shouldn't get it.
Right. Just like a lot of the things we were talking about in Skittles and Fruit Loops and things like that.
That's right.
They don't even sell in other countries.
They
consider it poison.
They consider, especially the dye that they use. The big thing that's out there is that the cereal that's made in Europe is made with real fruit juice.
Wow.
Compared to the United States, where the food is made from dyes. So the dyes, the basis of the dyes is actually petroleum, the stuff that you put in your car.
Ooh, yeah.
So when they were refining oil, they had this massive amount of byproduct, and they can't throw it away because it's environmentally hazardous. So they found the next best place to put it in our bodies.
That's not the next best place in my opinion.
I'm being very, very...
Right. So we need to start, I'm on this kick, where, no one's going to save us but us. And
That's
so
right.
we really need to start paying attention about what we put in our bodies. Because I feel like it's purposeful that it's hard to find healthy options where you see the majority of black people living.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's not right or fair. So we've got to do the best we can with what we have.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
I appreciate
I'm happy
that.
to be here.
Truthing about our health.
Yeah.
It's important.
Totally.
It's the most important thing we have. Okay.
That's right.
Thank you.